I hope you enjoy my stories. Instead of just clicking thumbs down, please comment and share how we can do better. If you do like our video, then please like and subscribe.
In the fall of 1982, amidst the vibrant colors of changing leaves, a chilling terror gripped the nation as a series of deaths unfolded, shaking the trust in over-the-counter medication. 7 unsuspecting individuals in the Chicago area lost their lives tragically after ingesting Tylenol capsules that had been maliciously tainted with potassium cyanide. The Tylenol murders sent ripples across the country, sparking panic and fear as people grappled with the unthinkable notion that their everyday pain relief could turn deadly. In the aftermath, frantic recalls ensued, with millions of bottles of Tylenol being pulled from shelves nationwide. This act of sinister sabotage not only resulted in loss of lives, but also shattered the sense of security within communities, leaving a haunting legacy that continues to haunt the collective memory. Decades later, despite extensive investigations and a massive manhunt, the perpetrator behind this heinous crime remains at large, making it one of the most notorious unsolved mysteries in American history. The victims, ranging in age from 12 to 35, innocently reached for capsules of extra-strength Tylenol to alleviate minor ailments. Instead, they fell victim to a calculated act of sabotage. The deaths were initially thought to be isolated incidents, but as the number of fatalities rose, panic spread throughout the country. Families and communities were shattered by the sudden loss of their loved ones, and the shock reverberated far beyond the Chicago area where the murders occurred. Each death became a poignant reminder of the vulnerability of everyday life, prompting widespread fear and mistrust of over-the-counter medications. With each passing day, the situation grew more dire, with authorities struggling to contain the crisis and restore a sense of security to the public. The Tylenol murders captivated the nation, dominating headlines and sparking a nationwide manhunt for the perpetrator behind this heinous crime. The perpetrator's method was chillingly simple yet terrifyingly effective. With a calculated plan in mind, they strategically purchased bottles of Tylenol from various stores, carefully tampering with the capsules by lacing them with potassium cyanide. After meticulously resealing the bottles to conceal any signs of tampering, they brazenly returned the tainted products to store shelves, blending them in with the countless other items on display. Unbeknownst to consumers, these seemingly innocent pain relief capsules had become deadly traps. The poison took effect swiftly, leaving investigators and medical professionals alike stunned by the rapidity and devastation of its effects. As news of the poisoning spread, panic and confusion gripped the public, and authorities were inundated with calls and reports from concerned citizens. The urgent scramble to understand how such a heinous crime could occur became the focal point of law enforcement efforts. Forensic experts meticulously examined the tainted capsules, while detectives combed through store records and surveillance footage in search of any leads. Every detail, from the purchasing patterns of the perpetrator to the handling of the contaminated products, was scrutinized in hopes of unraveling the mystery behind the Tylenol murders. Meanwhile, public health officials raced to contain the crisis, issuing urgent warnings and advisories to the public. Emergency measures were implemented to remove Tylenol from store shelves, with millions of bottles being recalled and destroyed in an effort to prevent further harm. The sense of fear and uncertainty permeated communities across the nation as people grappled with the realization that something as routine as taking a pain reliever could prove deadly. In the wake of the tragedy, questions swirled about the safety and security of consumer products, leading to calls for tighter regulations and tamper-resistant packaging. The Tylenol murders not only exposed a vulnerability in the distribution chain of over-the-counter medications, but also sparked a broader conversation about public safety and trust in the products we rely on every day. Despite extensive investigations by law enforcement agencies, the perpetrator was never caught. The lack of evidence and the apparent randomness of the victims made it challenging to identify a suspect. However, the case led to significant changes in product packaging and safety measures. In response to the crisis, pharmaceutical companies and regulators took swift action to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Tamper-resistant packaging became the new standard, with companies implementing features such as foil seals, blister packs, and other tamper-evident technologies. These measures aimed to provide consumers with visible indicators of tampering, helping to restore trust in over-the-counter medications. Additionally, the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) introduced stricter regulations governing the manufacturing, distribution, and handling of pharmaceutical products.
These regulations included requirements for tamper-evident packaging, as well as guidelines for retailers to inspect and monitor their inventory for signs of tampering.
The Tylenol Murders served as a catalyst for these changes, prompting a fundamental shift in how the industry approached product safety and security. In response to the Tylenol Murders, Johnson & Johnson, the manufacturer of Tylenol, initiated a nationwide recall of all Tylenol products, a move that sent reverberations through the pharmaceutical industry and cost the company millions of dollars in lost revenue and expenses. The recall was not only a financial burden, but also a public relations nightmare, as the company grappled with the fallout from the crisis. In addition to the recall, Johnson & Johnson took proactive steps to enhance the safety of its products. They introduced tamper-resistant packaging, including the use of foil seals and tamper-evident caps, aimed at thwarting any attempts at tampering with their products in the future. These measures were not only intended to protect consumers, but also to rebuild trust in the Tylenol brand, which had been severely tarnished by the tragic events. The company's swift and decisive actions set a new standard for product safety and accountability in the pharmaceutical industry, prompting other manufacturers to follow suit and implement similar measures to safeguard their products. The Tylenol Murders had a profound and far-reaching impact on consumer confidence in product safety standards across the nation. The heinous crime sent tremors through communities, shaking the trust that consumers had over-the-counter medications. It served as a wake-up call, highlighting the vulnerability of these products to malicious tampering and the potential dangers they pose to unsuspecting consumers. In the wake of the murders, the public became acutely aware of the potential risks associated with widely available medications, sparking widespread concern and uncertainty.
The realization that something as routine as taking a pain reliever could result in tragedy led to a significant shift in consumer behavior.
People began scrutinizing product packaging more closely, looking for signs of tampering and questioning the safety of the medications they once took for granted. Moreover, the Tylenol Murders prompted a re-evaluation of existing product safety standards and regulations. It exposed gaps in oversight and control measures, prompting calls for stricter regulations to protect the public from such crimes. Lawmakers and regulatory agencies responded by implementing new guidelines aimed at preventing tampering and ensuring the integrity of over-the-counter medications. The pharmaceutical industry also took decisive action in the aftermath of the murders. Companies began investing in tamper-resistant packaging technologies and enhancing security measures to safeguard their products. These efforts were aimed at restoring consumer trust and confidence in the safety of over-the-counter medications. Overall, the Tylenol Murders served as a catalyst for change, leading to a fundamental shift in how both consumers and the industry approached product safety. It underscored the importance of vigilance, transparency, and accountability in ensuring the integrity of consumer goods and protecting public health. Despite the passage of time, the case of the Tylenol Murders remains one of the most notorious unsolved crimes in American history, shrouded in mystery and speculation. Theories about the perpetrator's identity and motive have abounded, ranging from a lone individual seeking notoriety to a meticulously orchestrated act of terrorism. Some believe the murders may have been the work of a disgruntled former employee or a mentally disturbed individual, while others suspect a broader conspiracy involving multiple perpetrators. The FBI and local law enforcement agencies have diligently pursued leads and investigated potential suspects over the years, but the identity of the perpetrator remains elusive. Despite countless tips from the public and advances in forensic technology, the case has yet to be cracked. Each new piece of evidence or promising lead has ultimately led to dead ends or inconclusive results, leaving investigators frustrated and the families of the victims without closure.
Nevertheless, the investigation into the Tylenol murders has never been officially closed, and authorities continue to appeal to the public for information that may help solve the case.
The passage of time has not diminished the urgency or significance of finding justice for the victims and their families. The unresolved nature of the case serves as a haunting reminder of the vulnerability of society to acts of random violence, and the enduring impact of unsolved crimes on communities and the collective consciousness. The Tylenol murders serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of public trust, and the critical importance of vigilance in safeguarding the safety of consumer products. This tragic event shook the nation to its core, challenging the assumption that everyday items like over-the-counter medications were inherently safe. The indiscriminate nature of the killings shattered the sense of security that many people felt in their daily lives, leaving a lasting scar on the collective psyche. While the case may never be solved, its impact reverberates throughout the pharmaceutical industry and society as a whole. In response to the murders, significant changes were implemented in product packaging and safety measures, setting a new standard for consumer protection. Tamper-resistant packaging became the norm, and regulatory agencies enacted stricter guidelines to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. However, the legacy of the Tylenol murders extends beyond the realm of product safety.
It serves as a warning about the potential dangers of complacency and the necessity for constant vigilance in protecting public health.
The event prompted a cultural shift in how consumers approach the products they use, fostering a greater awareness of potential risks and a heightened sense of skepticism. The unresolved nature of the case also highlights the challenges and limitations of law enforcement in investigating complex crimes. Despite decades of effort and advancements in forensic technology, the identity of the perpetrator remains elusive.
However, the memory of the victims lives on, serving as a powerful reminder of the human cost of indifference and the importance of seeking justice for those who have been wronged.
In the end, the Tylenol murders serve as a somber reminder that while we may never fully understand the motivations behind such senseless acts, we must remain vigilant in protecting ourselves and our communities from harm.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.